Greg Bowl and Coach Greg Barosa.
What's happening? It's not Sunday at 9 a.m.-ish. It's Saturday at 8 p.m. Right on the fucking button.
But we said we were going to start at 7:30, so we're ishing.
Oh, that's right. All right. So a couple things going on tomorrow, so we can't have our show. So we're going to do episode number 274 of our favorite thing in the world, Sports Talk 916 tonight.
I think having sex is my favorite thing in the world. Just gonna put that out there, mister.
Yeah, I'm on a roll of saying stupid things the last couple of weeks. So I am Coach Greg, and that's not my better half, but the better half of the show.
What's up, Boo?
Mr. Chief Greg Bowl, and we're here and ready to go for our vast listening audience. Not much, man. Just working my butt off. Did in the stretch of 4 open houses in 4 days, and getting ready for swimming to start. And life is never slow.
Nice. Started.
What about you?
Just working on the house for you to be able to sell soon, and
nice.
We got in there and we started painting today. And we got 2.5 walls in the master bedroom done before we realized, fuck this. We stopped painting. We started just taping everything off. We're just going to rent a sprayer and fucking do everything. I was like, no, this is going to take us a month. The house will be listed in June if we do it this way. So we're changing course, and hopefully by next weekend, now is the plan to have it completely. We're going to prep everything, get it ready to go, and then hopefully midweek or next weekend we're going to get the sprayer and start working.
Okay, good.
Yeah, it was just too much work. I was like, screw this. And then we got it on the ceiling, and then now we're like, well, do we paint the ceiling? And no. So just
I hate painting. I'll pay somebody to come in and do it.
Yeah, we thought about that too, but I'll just rent it. It's like $90 to rent a sprayer for a day.
Yeah.
Knock it out, be good to go. So
yep.
Should be interesting.
Cool.
But yeah, so tomorrow morning, the wife and I and some friends are getting ready for our upcoming Spartan run. So we're going to be up in Auburn running in the rain. Probably do like a 7 to 12 mile loop out in the basin of the Forest Hill Bridge. Nice and soggy and wet, and should be a good time. So that's why we're on tonight. So first and foremost,
the basin of the Forest Hill Bridge is going to be a hell of a lot higher than it would have been a month ago. So.
Yeah, for sure. It still should be fun though. We'll see how it goes. Maybe I'll jump in the water and swim a little bit. Who knows?
Stay away from the water.
I'll put my feet in.
No, don't put your feet in.
Okay, Dad. Baseball. Let's talk baseball because something
baseball been very, very good to me.
Finally happened this week in baseball.
Really? What? I didn't hear.
Have you heard of Bryce Harper?
Yeah, offhanded. Yeah, maybe I think once or twice.
So he finally signed.
What did he do? Did he?
Signed. Lots of reports came out that the Giants were still in it. The Dodgers were in it. The Phillies have been in it since day one. Let's work backwards. We'll start with what he didn't take. He didn't take a short-term deal with the Dodgers.
No.
So I have a goldfish stuck in my throat. That would have paid him $45 million per year.
Wow.
Mike, I think the rain is going to stay away Sunday and Monday, but brace yourselves for another big storm on Tuesday. No, it's supposed to rain all day tomorrow. All day long while we're on the trails. $45 million a year for the Dodgers. Turned it down. Didn't want a short-term deal.
Hey, hold on. Let me interrupt you. It's Mr. Stand Behind Jim Cosmore and hold up Giants or Kings and A's posters, but where's the Sports Talk 916 poster, Mike, to hold up?
Mike, let me ask you a question, bud. If I get a Sports Talk 916 logo printed on a piece of paper like that, would you take it to Kings games and like wave it around on TV for us? You let us know. So he turned down a short-term deal with the Dodgers, $45 million per year, which is great. I'm good. I'm glad he didn't sign with the Dodgers.
Yeah.
And that meant the Giants were still in it. Breaking news happens midway through the day. Bryce Harper makes his decision. Bryce Harper going to the Phillies. And at first we're like, well, fuck, this sucks. I'm pretty upset about this. The Phillies are going to be amazing with all the moves they've made and all the pieces they have. And then the details of that deal came out. And I'm not mad at all that the Giants didn't make this deal.
No, not at all.
13 years, $330 million, no opt-outs, no options, a full no-trade clause. Bryce Harper will never leave Philly if he decides he doesn't want to leave Philly.
Right.
I would wave that around and show it on TV as long as it's TV appropriate, no curse words. It would just be our logo, Mike. Just the Sports Talk 916 logo. Nothing. I wouldn't try to get you in trouble. So he's going to be a Philly for life. It's a lifetime contract. It'll put him until he's 40 before this contract expires. And, I give Scott Boras credit. Boras for years has been, I'm going to do what I want, but I also want to have the best interest of my client in line. And I started going back and listening to some old interviews that Harper did when he was still arbitration eligible. And Dusty Baker confirmed these. This is why I kind of went back and looking for it. Harper made it very clear that he only wanted to hit free agency one time in his career. He wanted to be a free agent once, and the next team he signed with would be the team he finished his career with. He had hoped that it was going to be Washington. That obviously didn't work out. He just signed a lifetime deal with the Phillies. He's going to be a Philly for the rest of his life. Presumably, unless the Phillies can somehow, if something happens, they can get out of it.
I haven't heard anything about a no-trade clause. So
yeah, I heard there's a full no-trade clause as well.
Oh, is there? Okay.
So the Dodgers offered $45 million a year. He turned that down. The Giants offer came out as 12 years, $310 million, which would have paid him more money annually. But they wanted opt-outs. They wanted the ability to reevaluate about halfway through. Harper had no desire to do that. I also heard that Boras pushed for Harper to take the Giants offer over the Philly offer, and Harper said no.
Really?
Furthermore, I heard what you had told me about this, and I went through and I confirmed it, that AT&T Park was a big concern for Bryce Harper.
Yeah.
He wanted a Cracker Jack box essentially to play in, and Philly's Citizen Bank Ballpark is going to give him that.
And I had heard that there were three factions in the Harper camp.
Mike just hit the last one on the head. I'll let you talk before I read it.
Yeah, the Boras wanted him in Philadelphia. His family and his wife or girlfriend wanted him in L.A., and he wanted to play in San Francisco. So I'm not sure how that ended up getting turned around, but that's what I had heard multiple times.
So the last thing that came up, and this is the big one, is if the money was the same, he would have went to San Francisco. And I don't mean 13 years. I don't mean $330 million. It came down to California income tax. Boras told the Giants that if he wanted Harper to sign, or if they wanted Harper to sign in San Francisco, they would have to make the money equal. They would have needed to offer him upwards of $370 million in order to make the money the same as it would have been in Philly, taking a $330 million deal for him to consider it.
So somebody last night did
Brad just hit on the head, $360 million.
Somebody did the math the other day, and he's basically walking away with $180 million at the end of his contract. That's what he's going to have in his bank account is $180 million.
How does that break out? Do you know?
No idea. I mean, it's just I'm with federal income tax and that kind of after taxes. His take-home pay after taxes is $180.
The other thing that's interesting is $44,000 per at bat.
Wow.
So strike out on 3 pitches, $44,000. Pop out, fly out, home run, intentional walk. Bird shits on your face, it hits you in the eye, you have to leave the batter's box due to an injury, $44,000. I mean, okay, I'd play baseball for $44,000 in that bat.
I'd be fine for one game, get 4 at bats. I'm good.
Yeah, no shit. Give me, you know what? Just give me $44,000 and I'll play some baseball. Like I'm not greedy. I'll take that. I mean, God knows I could use that right now.
I can strike out for 44 grand.
Yeah,
like
I'll do it. I'll do it. You know what? I'll even save you the hassle. I'll do it on 3 pitches. And that's with me trying. I promise you, I'll strike out on 3 pitches. So, props to Bryce Harper and Scott Boras. They got their thing. And, Sean Selby of Corner Pub Sports commented on one of our things. And, he was like, oh, sucks for the Giants and, whatever. I'm not mad about it. Like I said, that is a lot of money to be tied up in. You're looking at, sorry if you covered this already, but did the Dodgers offer him $4,180? Something like that. Basically $45 million a year, Brad. The Phillies better hope, and I mean this wholeheartedly, and I hate that I'm even saying this. The Phillies better hope that the National League has a designated hitter by the midway point of this deal.
Oh, absolutely.
In the next 6 years, if there's not a DH, or 7 years, if there's not a DH in the National League, I feel that they are going to fully regret signing Bryce Harper to this lifetime contract.
You have to think that they have the feeling that that's coming down. That's why they spent that much money doing it. They have to, because there's no way a 38-year-old is going to be able to play the outfield on a regular basis, even in a bandbox like Philly.
While getting $44,000 in at bat. Let's just keep reminding you that. Then another report came out today from Philly. I want to know what the owner of the Philadelphia Phillies does to get his money besides own a baseball team. Because the new report came out that they have already started putting money aside because they just offered $330 million, which you would think would kind of stretch them out where they wouldn't have money to put aside to plan for Mike Trout next year. If Bryce Harper got 13 years, $330 million, what in the hell are the Phillies going to have to throw at Mike Trout if they think they're going to land him out of free agency next year as well? Because we talked about Stanton getting $325, right? Over 10 years.
Yep.
And we predicted that Harper was going to get $400 million. I said he could even get upwards of $500 million. Which I'm shocked it wasn't more. And I think the fact that more teams weren't in on it, I think is the problem with that, is a lot of teams weren't set on giving him a lifetime deal. Mike Trout is a player that I would throw a 15-year contract at. Mike Trout is probably a once-in-a-lifetime player that we're seeing, and he's continually getting better. I think you could see Trout pushing $500 million, $400 at least.
Do you think, I know that we've seen this in basketball where an owner has tried to go out and just buy world championships and try to get multiple numbers.
Baseball too. It's called the Yankees.
Well, what I'm saying is, does that work anymore? I mean, can you have that many superstars on a team and expect them to win? I think in baseball it's a lot easier than in basketball.
If they sign Mike Trout next year, it'll be McCutchen in left, Trout in center, Harper in right. Pretty damn good outfield. Then you have Romolto behind the plate. You have Hoskins at first, which, I mean, and then whoever the hell else is on there, I don't even know, but their team
doesn't matter.
Stacked.
You and me.
Right. I'll play shortstop, which is gonna be rough.
I'll play first base because I have limited wheels.
Right.
And what about Reese Hoskins? The Sacramento kid.
Yeah, that's what I said. Hoskins is the first, right?
Yeah.
Looks like De'Aaron Fox got in a car accident tonight. He's fine, but got in a car accident. He wrecked his Camaro. Just got that sent to me.
I don't know. The other thing you're going to have to think about, though, is the CBA is starting to run out. It's getting close to where there could very well be a work stoppage.
There's already talks about a strike.
So I'm wondering if that's going to be one of the things. If one of the things that they're going to end up putting in is an NBA or NFL style salary cap.
I think they need to. Really think they need to.
You know, I used to not be in favor of doing that.
Mike, we're going to get to that next.
I used to not be in favor of that. But if you look at the ultimate in salary caps and profit share, and that's the NFL. And look at the number of teams that year in and year out make the playoffs and then ultimately don't make the playoffs. Every year, what do we say? 4 to 5 teams that didn't make it the year before are in, which is about 50%. And it's pretty damn easy to go from worst to first in NFL. It's not that easy to go worst to first in Major League Baseball. You need, you know, it takes.
It's not easy to go worst to second to worst in Major League Baseball.
Yeah. So, you know, I think that they need to. They need to do an NFL. I mean, I hate to say this, but I think the NFL has it right. You know, everybody is working with mostly the same money field as everybody else. So, you know, let's try to make it, you know, that way teams like the A's, teams like the Giants, teams like the Marlins and the Diamondback or Devil Rays or Rays or whatever the fuck they are.
God damn.
You know, have a chance to compete. You know, maybe it takes a year or two for them to turn things around, but you know, baseball.
Idiot.
Who, me?
Yeah, Boach is a little slow on that one.
Yeah, whatever. So I don't know. I mean, I think baseball's got a long ways to go, and I got a feeling this next CBA is going to be a pain in the ass to get through.
I agree, and you know, I would love to see a more even playing field.
Mm-hmm.
I think if you see a team like Philly go out and also land Mike Trout, I mean, there's going to be a problem there.
Yeah, I do too.
We'll continue to talk about the Giants. We're going to get to the Larry Baer thing here in a second. Mike, you just asked about it. But I want to ask this. If Giants fans have to be wondering now, right, where the hell the Giants go next? They were about to offer the farm, you know, all the money in the planet to Bryce Harper. Now what? Do you continue to sit back and sign nobodies? Do you make a run at someone that's still out on the market and prove that you're willing to spend money and it wasn't just a one-time thing like it was with the Giancarlo Stanton thing? What do the Giants have to do? What does Farhan Zahidi have to do at this point to win the Giants fans back over? Because you keep striking out, and I know he didn't miss out on Stanton, but, well, he did because he didn't land him in L.A. either. What do they have to do in order to prove to these fans that he's not trying to sabotage this team coming over from Dodger Blue?
Well, I don't think he's sabotaging. I think what he has to do is he's going to have to decide, are we going to reload or are we going to rebuild? And if we're going to rebuild, then he's going to have to let things stay the way they are for the next couple of years and let all these huge contracts expire so he can start, you know, bringing new players in. And I think if he does that, then he's going to try to reload and spend more time getting the farm system back up and running. You know, if he decides to reload, then I think he's got to find, you know, maybe a frontline pitcher. They still have to find an outfielder, and there's a couple there still. So Cargo's there. Who else is
Jones is out there.
And Andrew Jones is still out there.
No, not Andrew Jones. I think he might be Adam Jones.
Adam Jones. And, you know, there's some frontline pitchers there. Dallas Keuchel is still available. Craig Kimbrell is still there. So there's a lot of ways he can go, and I think he can do it and get a couple of those guys for less than what he was going to pay for Harper. So they have two ways to go. He just has to decide which one he wants to do, and it's going to be painfully obvious which way he's going to go. You know, you'll be able to figure that out.
Right. The other thing that came up in Giants land, video of Larry Baer having an altercation with his wife. The media went nuts on it. Larry Baer threw his wife to the ground. Larry Baer pulled his wife along the ground. I've watched that video probably a good 25 times.
I have too.
It sucks. It's unfortunate. It's definitely something you don't want in the public eye. But the media spin on this, I think, gave the false perception of what actually happened.
Well,
he went for the phone or clipboard, whatever it was he was going for. She pulled away. She's on a little metal chair. Him standing over. She lost her balance. The chair fell over. She fell to the ground. He continued to try to take the phone.
Right.
I think there's screaming and whatever like made it sound a lot worse than it was. But to say that he threw her to the ground and dragged her along the ground and this and that, I think it paints a much harsher picture. There was reports that someone that worked at the coffee shop nearby said that she was the vocal one in the altercation, yelling at him, threatening to leave him, this and that or whatever. Like she was the one causing the scene. And I don't know if that was his phone that she had that he was just trying to leave, but she wouldn't let him have it.
It was his phone. So according to the reports that I read, and I think I know I at least read the full TMZ report. They were saying that we're not seeing the whole video, that there's a section of it that was cut out. And the reason that was cut out is the guy taking it put his phone down and ran over to pull Larry Baer off of her, that he was standing over her, grabbing and trying to tug the phone away from him. And so it took a couple of guys to get him off of her. And then it comes back on. So if you watch the video again, it shows him pulling her off the chair. And then the next thing you do is you see him walking away. So there's definitely a cut in there where we don't know what happened. So I'm not saying that heaven forbid the press make a bigger deal out of something than it really is. And it really is a big deal, but I'm not sure we know the whole story because I don't think we've seen the whole video.
Right. I don't know. And then, obviously Dodger fans are like, oh, fire him and this and that. Now, I know he's CEO, but he's one of the owners as well, right?
I think he's just CEO.
Okay, so I don't know. Do you think that's enough is that a fireable offense? Is that enough for him to have to step down as CEO of the San Francisco Giants?
Nope, not at all. I mean, that stuff happens all the time. What?
He didn't lay a hand on her. He didn't strike her. He didn't push her. He didn't.
Right. They were basically playing tug of war.
Right.
And he just, she fell off her chair and, whatever. I think that, he has enough credibility and enough stuff built up with the team and with the community where he's going to take a big hit for this and he's going to have to put himself out there and he's going to have to make amends. But I don't think it's big enough to lose his job over.
Yeah, I think you can put anyone in a situation, and you could flip the role around too. You could have put him in the chair and his wife standing over him. And if someone is over the top of you with leverage, trying to take something from you, and you're pulling away from them, you're essentially, if you're the one in the chair, you are essentially using their pulling to leverage your position. And if they stop or if they adjust or whatever, and you're still pulling, you're going to fall. It's like playing tug of war and someone letting go of the rope that you're pulling on. You're going to fly backward. Yeah. And I think if you flipped it around, it could be the same way. I mean, he easily could have been the one sitting, she being the aggressor, trying to get whatever he was holding, and he could have ended up on the ground. I just think that it's like I said, it's unfortunate. I'm not giving him a free pass by any means because I'm a Giants fan. TJ says he could be suspended for what happened.
Yeah, I can see that happening.
He can be fined. He could, whatever it might be. But to have him step down, it's I don't think so. But let's see. Mike says, I don't know if what Larry Baer did was a fireable offense, but I am being told by national news sources that Major League Baseball is deeply investigating the situation and matter much further. They can investigate all they want, but the fact of the matter is,
there's not much. There's
no other video. Two eyewitness account says it was a mutual argument that ended in one person falling down. But like I said, he didn't shove her, he didn't push her, he didn't hit her. It is what it is. It was a marital dispute. One of the people that worked there said that she could overhear her yelling and discussing something about marriage counseling. Like, obviously it was a discussion that got heated. Someone said, something like, oh, well, he was trying to get his phone back because he was hiding something. Maybe it was just the fact that he said maker of the Giants, and if his phone gets out, that could be a problem. Like, it's a confidential thing too. Like, he needed back before he left. We don't know what it was.
No, they both said that they were arguing over something that one of her relatives was doing, and they were having an argument over that. So it had nothing to do with the Giants, nothing to do with anything else. They were in an argument over one of her relatives was doing something, and they had a big disagreement about it. And that's about all that they've said.
Right. But like I said, people were focusing on the fact that his phone was involved. And it's like,
yeah.
If you're a top official of a team and there's confidential shit in the phone and you're trying to leave the scene and she's refusing to give your phone back, like, you know what, I need it back. It's mine. I need it, whatever. And then obviously what happened. But like I said, not condoning it, not okay with it by any means. Like, that kind of shit should not be happening in public. But I just find it funny that Giants fans or Dodgers fans are like, oh, fire him, make him step down, way to go, stay classy, Giants. And do we really need to get into what Dodger fans tend to do or what Dodgers tend to do? Let's keep it real here.
Yeah.
Last thing, baseball related, since Mike's on. Mike, the A's released renderings of their new stadium. And
again.
This was like a week and a half ago.
Oh, okay.
This is the first time we've had a chance to talk about it, though. And by all accounts, it looks pretty badass. The jewelry box shape that they have, where the outfield kind of filters down into like a little like void, if you will, in the middle, right behind center field, where it's an open air stadium where you can see through, without being at the top of the stadium. Pretty cool. The gondola system that they're rumoring is not going to ever happen. They're not going to be able to get, unless they change the route of the gondola. There's a snowball's chance in hell that Oakland approves a gondola going over a freeway. Okay, it's not going to happen. No. Unless they don't serve any alcohol at an A's game, they're not going to let people sitting in a gondola above a busy freeway, Interstate 80. It's not going to happen. No. But I'm curious to see if the A's have put anything out about the reasoning behind the layout of their stadium. So when Golden One Center was built, they made a huge deal about the hangar doors and why they were keeping them open. And in the wintertime, in the spring and early summertime, the doors could be open because of the Delta breeze that comes in off the river. It uses that system to cool the building down, to provide airflow. Like the economical or the environmental feasibility around it was because of the wind and whatnot around the stadium. I'm wondering if the A's have reason for their stadium being about 40 or 35 degrees twisted in the wrong direction. Unless the same developer who built Levi Stadium built or plans on building the Oakland A's new stadium at Howard's Terminal. If you look at the renderings,
I just pulled them up.
The center field crevice, we'll call it, because I don't know what they're calling it, but they're calling it a jewelry box, right? So the opening out in center field where the nicest sightlines are right now have the cranes behind it. If they were just to turn it, if you're looking at the picture, if they would just turn the entrance and everything like that slightly to the left, so like if you're just swiveling it, turn the center field clockwise,
okay,
or the entrance clockwise, one of the two, it would allow the view lines to be straight out like into the bay. Like,
yeah,
right now it's looking at those shipyard cranes and what's going to be a building behind there once they're done building it. why would you not turn it and look at the bay? You're putting a waterfront stadium. You don't have to have the entrance where people walk in perfectly lined up with the street that it's on. Like, it can be off kilter to the sightlines. My second question, and Mike, I know that you're always, talking with Caval and those guys down there via Twitter or, your A's booster meetings and whatnot. Ask them why they have a beautifully designed stadium, which is going to allow for these sightlines, and then fill that void with a giant video board. Why?
Okay, here's what I'm guessing.
Put that video board somewhere else, unless it's for the batter's eye for when they're in center field. It doesn't make sense to have that. That'd be like Levi Stadium having those two big old openings, if they were pointed the right direction, and putting video boards in those holes where it's like, hey, we have these openings, you could look through them, but you really can't. It confuses me a little bit.
So here's what I'm wondering. I'm wondering because the way you look at this, the way you look at the renderings, you're seeing the scoreboard outside of the stadium. So I'm wondering if they're just trying to keep people that are walking by and not in the stadium informed of what's going on. The second thing is, and this is just purely a guess, is I wonder if having it built up facing the bay is being a wind block. So you're not getting that breeze right off the bay. And there's a little bit of a buffer zone where if you put that indentation or whatever it is facing the bay, it could be a wind tunnel.
And that's why I was asking Mike if they've done any sort of environmental, studies with the landscaping of this stadium, because I got to imagine that they've done some kind of due diligence, but it just seems like there could be so much more aesthetically pleasing about that place than these renderings appeal to the naked eye. So I imagine a lot of it does have to do with the wind coming off the bay. Like, I'll give you that one. But I don't know. It seems silly. And there was something else about, like a walk up. I'd have to pull up the renderings again. There was something about, like, it looks like you could almost walk up from the street.
I'm not sure if we're still on. Mike, are we still on? Can you hear me at all?
Who can't hear you? Can you hear me?
Greg's not on. I don't know if I've been kicked off or he's been kicked off.
It's still going on my end. Looks like we lost Verosa. No, he's still on. That's weird. Anyways, yeah, Greg dropped. He'll come back on. So, I don't know, Mike. Those are some things that I have questions about, man. So, if you can figure that out and explain it to us so we have a little bit more understanding, that'd be cool. You back now?
Yeah.
Is it working?
Did I get kicked off or did you get kicked off?
Oh, you did. I'm more involved with the A's when it comes to the inner city rail transportation plans, and I can hear you. Okay. So, and then, Mike, private funding or not, the monorail or the gondola system is going to have to be rerouted. You can't go over I-80. It's just not going to happen.
And how can you have a gondola system that's going to carry 20,000 people?
Well, not all 20,000 people are going to use it. But anyways, let's talk Kings. Let's talk about the Sacramento Kings because that's what everyone really cares about. Are the playoffs dead? Do you think in the current form with the Bagley injury and just the way that this team has been playing and not being able to close out games, do you think that the playoffs hopes are dead or dwindling to the point of no return?
I think they're dwindling, but I don't think they're done. You're not going to catch the Clippers. The Clippers have owned us for the last 2 years. What?
The Clippers have owned us for a lot longer than that. So we've lost nine straight
in a row,
and we've lost 13 straight in Sacramento.
Yeah. So they've owned us. So, you're not going to catch them. San Antonio is 3-7 in the last 10 before tonight's game. I don't know what they did tonight. We're 4-6, so we've actually picked up a game on them. We have 2 games in hand, or 2 games left to play with them, I believe. At least one, I know. We might have 2. that's how they're going to make the playoffs, is by catching San Antonio. They're not going to be able to do it without.
The Spurs beat Oklahoma City tonight.
Did they? Okay. They're going to have to play better down the stretch. I'm not sure, though, that it wasn't down the stretch where they lost that game last night. They lost that stretch from the beginning of the third quarter till about 8 minutes left in the fourth quarter, when they all decided to play one-on-one basketball. And Fox was playing one-on-one and dribbling. Bogey was playing one-on-one and dribbling. Buddy was playing one-on-one. There was no passing. There was no ball movement. And I think, as much as I think Doug Christie is an all right analyst, he hit it square in the head last night. His analysis of that game was perfect. You stop driving for the basket. You stop getting to the paint. You're not going to win that game. The only way they could win that game was to get to the basket and hope to be fouled, or get to the basket and hope to have somebody hit a wide open three, not one that's contested like they were shooting all night last night. So he hit it right on the head. That was a team loss, and they played bad. And I can't imagine Jaeger, who called multiple timeouts during that time, not saying, hey, come on, pass the ball, move it around. I just think that they decided they all wanted to be heroes last night and win the biggest game of the year and forget how to play as a team.
And what worries me the most about this team is closing out games. They cannot rebound. They to save their lives, when under 3 minutes, you can pretty much walk in and get an offensive rebound against this team. They get distracted, it seems like. Their defense is doing really well, especially in the final 3 minutes of games. Aside from the rebounding, they're one of the better defensive teams in the league when it comes to those final 3 minutes. Their speed, their tenacity, they never quit. All of these things are good, but how many times now the Golden State or the Nuggets game lost it on an offensive rebound? Golden State lost it on an offensive rebound. Last night, offensive rebound, got the steal. Harrison Barnes had the unfortunate charging call when he's a veteran. He should know to look up. He had Buddy behind him. He had Bogey trailing. Like, you don't need to go for the hoop. It was a questionable charge. It was super questionable. It could have gone either way. I think it was a bang-bang play. Ultimately, I believe that the refs did get it right.
I think they did too.
I went back and I saw the rule, and a couple of years ago, or maybe a year ago, the rule changed on charges where the defensive player, if they can establish position, they're allowed to move laterally or backwards in order to maintain their defensive position. And if a charge occurs, then and they've already established it, then it's allowed. Gallinari was established before Barnes made the final move. He shifted left. Barnes plowed through him. It was a charge. And it was unfortunate. But what worries me, though, is the late game execution, and so many people like to blame this on coach. Against Golden State, I don't remember who the hell it was that made the shot or missed the shot. It was Buddy. He dribbled in, dribbled, shot the ball, air ball, lost the game. We talked about that one on Sunday. You make that shot, it goes back to Golden State with 4 seconds left in a timeout. Chances, I would be willing to bet that we would have lost, because you give 4 seconds to Clay, Steph, or KD, and you're going to lose. Yeah. Mike, first time seeing your name here, man. Appreciate you joining in. That charge was whack as fuck. Again, questionable call, but it was the right call. Strictly by the wording of the rule, it was the right call. Do I make that call if I'm the ref in that situation, knowing it's a bang bang play like that? Probably not. I probably err on the side of the offensive player there, because it was so quick, but they did get it right. Milwaukee game. De'Aaron Fox dribbles, loses the ball out of bounds. That one, you have to give credit to one of the best defenders in the league. Eric Bledsoe locked him up, Doug mentioned this multiple times. When you know you have a foul to give, you walk over and you tell the ref, I'm not fouling. We're not fouling him. I'm going to be playing tight defense. And that basically tells the ref, if a foul is committed, you blow the whistle, but you don't anticipate the player running in to call a foul and blowing the whistle.
Right.
You'll see it a lot of times. Like, go watch a lot of games at the end of a game when there's no foul to give and a team is down. The ref will start blowing the whistle before they even grab the guy. And there's been so many times where an offensive player gets away and the whistle's already blown and they weren't even touched yet because the refs know it's coming. They anticipate it. They call the foul. When you tell the ref, hey, I'm not going to make a foul, I'm going to be playing defense, they don't blow the whistle until a foul occurs. Bledsoe played great defense on Fox. Ball went out of bounds. Unfortunately, we go to overtime. Again, we don't rebound for shit. And, Brogdon hits that big three in overtime and we end up losing. I'm not terribly mad at that game. That's the best team in the league. And we lost by 1. Cool. Last night, you give up offensive rebounds left and right. Like, this team just cannot close out games. And it's one of those things where if they make the playoffs, if they catch San Antonio and make the playoffs, can no other way to say it, can these bonehead plays, can they get over this in the playoffs? And I don't know that they can. And I also don't know that they're going to be good enough to get to the playoffs making those mistakes.
Yeah, Sean, I agree with you. Right there. But it is a learning experience.
Sean hits the nail on the head there.
And this is a learning experience.
About the whole, moral victories have to go out the window. Delso, our buddy Joe, has been saying that for weeks now. No more moral victories. You got to win. You got to win these games. Kings fans, though, you need to support the damn team. You guys got to stop being so fucking negative about everything. Oh, Brogdon set an illegal screen. That's what hurt Bagley. No, he didn't. That was a clean screen. Hey, look, there's Delso right there. No more moral victories, right? It was a clean screen. It was a bang-bang play. Sure, the guy, Brogdon, twisted his knee in, but it wasn't malignant. It wasn't trying to nail Bagley in the leg. That was bracing for impact. You have a big dude like Bagley running full speed, you're going to brace for impact. Did it suck he got hurt? Yeah, but to say it was dirty, no. If anything, you need to look at the rest of the team. None of them, and Buddy was within 3 feet, called out that screen.
Yeah.
Not one of them made Bagley aware that there was a blindside screen waiting for him, and he got hurt, and we dodged the bullet. He got, just a sprain. It's cool. If you're in the kingdom, the Sacramento Kings kingdom, the doctors there declared it to be an MCL, an ACL, a meniscus. One guy guaranteed it was a meniscus because of the way it twisted. Not always. So all of those guys have had their credentials revoked as far as medical goes. But
and I'm not sure of the reason why we have to assign blame for every loss. This loss is so-and-so's fault.
They have to blame somebody.
This fault. This
accept it.
Yeah, it's this is a team game, and if you go back and you look at every game. If you go back and look at every game, you can pick out if they would have made this easy shot, if they would have gotten this easy rebound, if they would have done 2 or 3 things, we wouldn't be in the position where we're losing games in the end. So it's not just one person's fault. It's not just one, incident. It's not one play that loses a game. It's a culmination of everything that happens throughout the entire 48 minutes.
Let me ask you, if we go back to Mike's right. Everyone's a sports analyst and or a doctor and a coach.
Right.
In Kings fandom. And Niner fans too, the same fucking way. Shut up. And I'm a Niner. What? Shut up. Everyone's a GM when it comes to the 49ers. Go pick up everybody.
Our friend James, who lives up in Bellingham, Washington, and has to listen to the Seahawks fan for the last week, is telling me that Kings fans, you're turning into Seahawks fans.
Yeah, pretty much. What was I going to say? It was Oh, fuck, I lost my train of thought now.
Sorry.
No, it's fine. We're talking about how everyone has to blame everything, right? Let's roll it back to 1996. No, I'm sorry, 98. If Twitter and Facebook and social media existed in 1998, how many people do you think would have been calling for Byron Russell to be kicked off the Jazz, Jerry Sloan be fired because no one stopped Jordan from hitting that last second shot in Utah?
Right.
Like, it's asinine to always want to blame somebody. Oh, it's coach's fault for him not doing this. It's Barnes' fault for that. You know what? I give Barnes credit. Barnes went for that play. He thought he had a chance to win it. In hindsight, when it's not a bang-bang play, yeah, he should have looked up and found a trailer. But he was trying to win the game. You know what? I'm all right with it. The season's not over. Everyone that's like, oh, that ended our season. No, that just means we probably don't catch the Clippers.
And we'll have to make up a game somewhere. We're going to have to win a game that we're not.
The Kings can still get to the 7th seed, 6th seed even. The Clippers might have to climb to 5 to do it, but it's possible. The team has shown incredible focus and edge for a lot of their 48 minutes this season. Absolutely.
Yep.
Someone called in the other day on Grant and Doug's show and was like, I want the Kings to put the same intensity they put in the final minutes into the whole game. And Doug's like, then your guys are going to die because you can't play defense like that for 48 minutes. The Kingdom's biggest troll, the Christina Sanchez profile.
That's right. She came back.
Yeah, which I'm almost certain that that's not who it is. I think it's someone else in that Kingdom running a fake profile. But
you think
that profile claimed that the Kings trading for Harrison Barnes was the worst deal they could make. Barnes sucks on offense. He sucks on defense. Everyone's blowing smoke up his ass because he's become, whatever. Here's a fun fact. And I know that, and we have 8 people on right now, which hit our quota because she said there's only 4. This is a fact that I think is quite telling to why the Kings went out and got Harrison Barnes. Since the Harrison Barnes trade to Sacramento, the Kings have 104 defensive rating when he's on the court.
Yep.
Which would be the best defensive rating in the league. The Kings play defense at a much better rate than anyone else in the league with Harrison Barnes on the floor, and their defense incrementally over the season has gotten better and better and better as this team gets together. So for everyone that's bitching about Jaeger and this and that or whatever, y'all need to fucking stop. Enjoy this. Nobody, friends don't let friends use burner accounts. That's the term I was looking for. This team, if the season ended right now, nobody in their right mind should be upset about this Kings season.
God, no.
But the Kings fans are gonna fucking lose their mind and call for everybody to be fired and call for everyone to be traded and bring back DeMarcus Cousins and bring back fucking anybody else that never played on this team for any shit. It's absolutely ridiculous. I am so sick and tired of it. But it is what it is, right? That's part of what it is. Mike says the remaining schedule is actually very soft. Or he says pretty soft. Sorry. So we have the Knicks at home Monday. FYI, if you're going to that game, go a little early. There's planned protests in front of the game Monday.
Yeah.
We're home for Boston on the 6th. Then we're at the Knicks, at the Wizards, at Boston, at Philly. We should be able to beat the Knicks at home, no problem. Boston at home is going to be tough depending on what team shows up. At the Knicks, at Washington, both of those should be wins. At Boston, you got to imagine we lose. At Philly, if the Kings continue to play the better teams as they have been, there's a chance they could go to Philly and win. Golden State just went in there and won by 3. They were down most of the game. Philly's playing very good basketball, but they're a beatable team. And then you're home for Chicago, home for Brooklyn, home for Dallas, home for Phoenix. If you don't go 3-1 on that, maybe losing to Brooklyn, who's playing out of their mind, you're screwed.
Yep.
And then you're at the Lakers, at the Mavericks, at the Pelicans, who just beat the Nuggets tonight, at Houston. You should be able to win 3 of those 4 games because the Lakers may already be out of it at that point. And I think you can The only for sure loss on that road trip is Houston.
And if you can steal one of those games, like I said earlier, if you steal one of those games you're supposed to lose, that makes up a little bit for the fact that we lost last night.
Exactly. And then after Houston, you're on a back-to-back, you're in San Antonio. That ultimately could be the biggest game of the season. So we play San Antonio one more time. You said 2 earlier.
Yeah, I thought it was somebody said 2.
And then so we have Houston 2 more times. Then we're home for Houston, home for Cleveland, at Utah, home for the Pelicans, and then the final game of the season, April 10th, is at Portland. It's a tough stretch, but 13-7, I believe Mike said earlier, is what the Kings ultimately need to do in order to have a really good shot at the playoffs. That will put them at 34 wins.
44.
Or 44 wins. It's possible. I mean, who in their right mind had the Kings winning 31 games this season? And if you raised your hand right now, you're a fucking liar.
Right.
So it's totally doable. It'll be fun. Even if they don't make it, these last 20 games are going to be fun as hell to watch.
This is all free money for us right now. Nobody expected this. Nobody expected them to have this many wins for the entire season. So, you got to just enjoy it and understand it's, like I said, it's free money. And, if they make the playoffs, great. If not, they're a hell of a lot better than they were last year. And I'm willing to make a big prediction right now that next year, this is a 50-win team.
I can see it.
Yeah, this is a 50-win team next year.
Hey, bullshit. What did I say that requires bullshit? Hey, bullshit. Yeah. I said 39 plus or minus 5. Okay, so you must have been drinking. You had that Hopsy going. You were pouring your own drafts. It's cool. Every game is like watching a playoff game right now. Absolutely. Joe also said, we are far past getting players on the downside of their career or
yes,
guys' last chances, onward and upward for King Vlade. I agree. And could be 34 if they suck, 44 if they balled out. Exactly. I could see. I'm not giving up hope. I'm not giving up hope on a Kevin Durant style player.
Now to Kevin Durant style.
I'm not giving up hope on Kevin Durant considering the Kings this offseason. I still think that, I'm not sure that we're in a position to land a Kevin Durant, but like I said before, I know that we're in a position where he doesn't have the Kings blocked on caller ID.
Right.
He's going to listen. He's going to engage conversation. It's going to be one of those things where, if they call, he'll actually conversate with them. And who knows? Anything can happen. But 12-8, Sean, is definitely doable. I agree. 13-7 is going to be tough. You're going to have to stretch. You're going to have to pull off one of the Boston wins. You're going to have to maybe beat Philly to get to 13. But Boston is a train wreck at times. So Boston could be 2 extra wins in that stretch. The other thing you have to hope is maybe coming down to the last 2 or 3 games that there's some rest going on. That's what I was about to say. At the end of the year, the second Houston game after you play them in Houston, when you play them here, you could see a Harden and a couple guys resting for the playoffs. Harden's 30-point streak is over, so he may not be as crazy. So there are a way for the Kings to sneak out some games. You may see LeBron, resting his leg, or, especially if they're out of it. You may not see a LeBron play 82 games. He didn't play 82 anyways, but playing every game if he's healthy. Who knows? Crazy thing too. They mentioned it last night. The Spurs bought out, and Paul Gasol agreed to a buyout. You see where he's going?
Yeah, Milwaukee.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to Milwaukee. As if they're not fucking good enough.
Right?
God damn. I love watching Milwaukee play. It sucked to see
awesome.
us.
They're fun.
They are a fun team to watch. Even without Antetokounmpo playing the other night, it was like, wow, this team is crazy good.
Yeah. And I kind of enjoyed watching the Clippers play last night. They're they're a scrappy, kind of a hard ass team, but I kind of like that. I mean, they don't take any shit from anybody.
Oh yeah, no, they're definitely rugged. Let's see. The last thing I wanted to talk about before we wrap it up tonight was NFL. There was before we do that, did you have anything else you wanted to talk about with the Kings?
Nah, I'm done.
Flowing through topics quick as hell right now. We're actually no, we're 55 minutes in. I thought we were shorter than that. I like being the kind of teams get up for. There's no more nights off. You cannot take nights off with the Sacramento Kings anymore, and that's amazing. KD could be respected again if he came to Sacramento. Dude, I've been saying that since the very beginning. If KD were to come to a team like Sacramento that's on the verge of being good again and take them to the top, I think all those haters that said Kevin Durant took the easy way out go away. Yeah. And I think Kevin Durant has enough pride in himself that he would try to do that and quiet those naysayers, because I don't think it sits well with Kevin Durant that he's being as negative. Hey, look at that! I don't have to be purple anymore. Oh, I'm like, goddamn, I look like a grape. I guess it's fitting we're talking about the Kings, right? I look purple as fuck. But it'll be one of those things where the offseason isn't going to suck. Like, the Kings aren't going to have to wait until week 2 of the free agency period, or day 4 after the moratorium starts to close, where all the big name guys are gone. The Kings are going to get to be one of those teams that's like, breaking news, Woj is going to drop a bomb, and it's going to be like, the Kings sign what? Who? Mike, I live in Japan, and this season made me break down and pay for NBA League Pass for the first time.
Cool.
What's up, dude? That's cool.
Yeah.
And you're tuning into the number 1 rated sports podcast that typically airs at 9 a.m. ish with only 4 listeners, according to troll accounts on Facebook. No, totally cool, man. Thanks for joining in. We really appreciate the feedback as well. You brought some great insight to our conversation tonight, or this morning, or whatever. Arigato. I don't know if arigato is Japanese. I just wanted to say it. I think it is. And now I want sushi. Fuck. What was I saying? Oh, the Kings are going to be those guys that the Woj bomb, drops, and it's going to be like, oh shit, look at that. The Kings signed somebody. And it's not going to be like Matthews, where it's like, never mind, he changed his mind. He's going somewhere else.
I don't, and this is a topic for another show. I'm not sure they really need to go out and be all that active. I don't think there's a whole lot of pieces that they need.
No, they can literally take their $67 million in cap space and go, hey, you know what? We're going to give Kevin Durant $67 million this year.
Yep.
Kings out of the playoffs, man. We're done. Check it being real. There's Vegas Ron chiming in with his beacon of positivity. Even if they don't make the playoffs, even if it's dead, this was and Joe hates it, but this was a moral victory season for the Kings. They're so far ahead of pace. The future would be extremely bright, and it's onward and upward from here, unless they fire Jaeger and start over. I mean, I really think that would be the absolute downfall of this team, is if they go out and they fire Jaeger, start over, and this team falls back into mediocrity because no one else can play or coach at the pace that the Sacramento Kings right now are playing at.
That's going to be the biggest FU they could ever do to the fans.
Yeah, absolutely. And and honestly, that worries me the most. Another big FU would be signing Willie Cauley-Stein to a $25 million a year contract that he wants. Moral victories is bullshit. I 100% agree, but you have to say if the Kings don't make the playoffs, but they're in the hunt come April or even the end of March, that is a huge leap forward. It's not even a step forward. That is a leap forward, and it shows that this team is on the right path. Joe says, no, I think playing in meaningful basketball in April is important. 100%.
That's what we're saying. That's what we're saying.
Firing Jaeger would be a self-destruct.
Yep.
I agree. I think firing Vlade stepping down would be self-destruct as well.
And Ron saying, Vegas Ron saying Willie can't rebound for over a dwarf. It's not that he can't. It's that he's inconsistent. He's inconsistent. There was one play last night, and I know one play doesn't make a game, but the play where he blocked the shot at one end and ran down to the other end and got the slam dunk for the basket.
He's been doing that all year long.
I know. So he's inconsistent. He's not a great rebounder, but he fits this system. Bagley is the rebounder. Giles is the one that should be in there rebounding if he's healthy and when he gets a chance to play. That's not Willie Cauley-Stein's game.
Yeah, Ron, I agree with you 100%. The NBA should go to a top 16 system. The fact that the bottom half of the East playoffs are going to be possibly an under 500 team is asinine. And it falls under the same premise. I mean, if you go back to 2007 in the NFL playoffs, when the Seahawks were a 7-9 team, they hosted a 9-7 or a 10-6
10-6
at home for a home playoff game and ended up winning. Like, why the hell is a 7-9 team just because they won a division hosting a game? It's broken. But I mean, there's really not much you can do about it. I mean, that's why they have an East and West system. But like right now, Milwaukee obviously is in first. Toronto's ahead of them or behind them. Indiana, Phillies in fourth at 40-23. Boston 38-25. So that's the top five. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then 6th seed is Brooklyn, 32-33. 7th seed Detroit, 30-31. 8th seed Orlando, 30-34. Charlotte's still in the mix at 29-33. They're actually tied with Orlando. Miami's in it at 28-34. Then you go Washington, and the trickle-down effect happens from there. But almost half, and I think you might have said that. No, you just said it's bullshit that teams with a sub 500. Nearly half of the teams in the East are sub 500 right now. Rudy Gay and San Antonio can fall off, in my opinion. I think they will. The East is a lot better, but they're still trash.
The East is a lot better. The East is a lot better than they've been in the top of the division.
Yes.
The top of the conference. The top 5 teams are pretty damn good, and they're competitive with the West. The bottom,
the West will run for their fucking money if they can make it that far.
The bottom 2/3 of the East are shit. But they're getting better. I mean, I think in a couple of more years, you're going to go back to where there's 10 good teams in both sides.
That'd be nice. And the Kings are finally going to be one of them. So
right.
There's that. Real quick, we'll talk NFL real fast. The consensus right now around the league is that the Kyler Murray is looking to be the number one. Actually, let's save this. Let's save this for next week. Let's wait till the combine is over. Let's start looking at the way things are with the combine. Which Greg, Joe? Yep, exactly, Greg. I like to make sure I can rub it in his face when I'm right, and then we ignore it when he's right. So we need to know which Greg you're talking about. The Lakers lost to the Suns. Yeah, tonight was crazy. Like, New Orleans beat Denver. The Lakers lost to the Suns. There was another upset tonight. It was the Warriors almost lost. Milwaukee lost tonight as well.
Wow.
Milwaukee lost so New Orleans beat Denver by 8. Milwaukee lost to Utah by 4. The Lakers lost by 9 to Phoenix, and Golden State barely snuck by Philly at 3. Memphis destroyed Dallas by 30, 111-81, and Miami whooped up on Brooklyn 117-88. Good lord.
Shit.
Anyone see Murkow's 40? Did anyone see that fucking Vince Carter played 47 minutes last night in that quadruple overtime game?
Did he really?
He's going to be off for 3 weeks with rest. And then Kings fans, some of them were like, we should have never let him go. We should bring back Vince next year. He's going to be 65 next year. Like, I don't think he's going to be able to play.
So do you think if we had drafted Luka and we had lost by 50 like they did tonight, that all those people go, see, I told you we shouldn't have fucking drafted Luka?
Right. Let's see. Someone says go Sharks. Vegas Ron says Sharks, fuck those dudes. It's all about the Vegas Knights.
Yeah, how they doing this year?
Yeah, Donovan Mitchell is fire. Donovan Mitchell is not as fire. He's more like kindling right now. He fell off hard. Fuck Luka. Fucka Luka. Fuka Luka. That should be a hashtag, Joe. Fuka Luka. I'm about to get that on a jersey. What number does he wear? He wears 11, right? 77. 406. What the fuck number does Luka wear? 77?
I don't know.
I'm about to get a Fuka Luka jersey on the Kings, 77. That'd be awesome. I got offered free Sharks tickets for a game that I can't go to. Would have been my first ever Sharks game from our buddies over at Shark Talk 916. I'm going to be doing a Spartan race that day, and I can't go because I have a Spartan race the next morning as well. My wife's work sucks ass because she's going to be in San Jose on the 13th, and she wants me to go with her so she doesn't have to drive home at night from San Jose. And my birthday is the 14th, and the Sharks play on the 14th at the Tank, and I can't go. So it's like the hockey gods are pissed at me for whatever reason and won't let me go to any games. Yeah, 77. I will put in like $10 on someone that wants to get a Fuka Luka jersey and buys and wears it. That'd be dope. Fuka
Hey, and I'm always available to go to a Sharks game, but they don't seem to include me in anything. I had some other bones to pick with them last night too.
Did you?
Yeah.
I just found a coupon for 2 free fried eggs at Burger Rim.
What the hell is Burger Rim?
Burger Rim. It's a fully customizable burger place out here where I live. Went last night.
That's right. Yeah.
Went last night. Sat behind the net on the glass. Crazy. Let me know I have single game tickets you can have. Oh shit, Josh, what's up, man? We're gonna have to be like buddy now. No.
Right.
So if you're new to the show, like I've wanted to be a Sharks fan for years, but they've been hella good. And I have a very, very hard time with, and this is I've already been told I'm stupid for this, and that's fine. But I have a very hard time claiming fandom of a team when they're at a peak. If I'm going to be a new fan. So I've always followed the Sharks, but I've never declared myself a Sharks fan because I never really got into hockey. I've always wanted to, and when I started to show interest in it, the Sharks were kicking ass. Like the best regular season team, they just couldn't do it in the playoffs. So I've just kind of waited for my window. And Chad and Nolan, who host Sharks Talk 916 on our network, basically told me I'm an idiot. And Greg did the same thing. Like, shut the fuck up. Like, if you're going to be a Sharks fan, be a fucking Sharks fan. So, see, Joe says you got to pick a loser too. Well, technically the Sharks are just as bad as every other team that hasn't won the cup because they can't win when it matters. So this season, I declared my fandom before the season started. They had lost in the playoffs.
Wait. Didn't you declare your fandom for the Vegas Knights last year?
No.
Yes, you did.
I said at the beginning of the season, I'm going to pick a team. And I said, I think I'm
picked the Vegas Knights.
I said I was leaning toward the Knights because they were the new thing in town. But at the time, they were also making a run at the Cup. And I said, I'll make a decision before the season starts. And that's right around the time that Chad and Nolan were both like, stop being a fucking moron. You're going to be a Kings fan or a Sharks fan.
I thought you declared your love for the
Vegas
Knights last year.
I was rooting for them in the playoffs because I thought their story was amazing. Them coming out of nowhere, obviously, literally out of nowhere.
I think you're a team jumper. You're a team jumper.
No. It would break my rule to be a Vegas Knights fan. The first year they run fucking rim shot through the whole damn league, and then I'm like, oh, I'm a fucking no. It doesn't work that way. That would be like the biggest hypocrisy ever. But you can't take away from what their story was last year. They were amazing. And it was fun to watch. So that was the team I was rooting for once the Sharks weren't in it last year. But no. So I declared my fandom, but I've never been to a game. And one of these days I will, I guess. I've heard nothing but amazing things about hockey, and especially live hockey.
Yeah,
it was always been playoff hockey. If you've never watched hockey, watch playoff hockey. And I'm like, all right, cool. I'll watch playoff hockey. And I was like, fuck, this is cool. And then it was, now go to a game. And I'm like, okay, eventually I'll get to one. But yeah, but no, definitely not a Vegas fan. Definitely cool at the Sharks. I will send you a ticket. Sharks ask Steve. Sharks. I will send you a ticket. Sharks. Ask Steve. Shark Attack. So, fun fact before we wrap it up today. Josh, I don't know if you're familiar. Obviously, you're familiar with Shark Attack. Steve Cropper's group. The way that I got linked into that with the opportunity to become a Sharks fan and to start following the team was sometime last year. I was out mowing my front yard, and there was a package on the front yard, like in a manila folder or an envelope that was just sitting on the yard between my house and the neighbor's house. And I'm like, it's kind of weird. Obviously the post office dropped it, the postman dropped it, whatever. And I almost ran it over with my lawnmower. So I stopped and I look at it and I'm like, I don't know who the hell Steve Cropper is. I don't really care who he is. I was like, but it's coming from like eBay. So I wonder what's in this, and I'm like, should I open it? And I was like, well, let's just see what it is, right? And I'll admit this, and I told him this, whatever. And I opened it up, and I'm like, oh shit, it's a hockey puck, it's a signed puck, And so I looked the address up on my phone. It was literally like 5 houses down from me in a court by my house. So I walked it over. I said, hey, I just want to apologize. I opened this up. I said I thought it was a package for me. Obviously, it wasn't, but I was like, hey, I opened it. Here you go. I just want to make sure it got to you. It almost got ran over by the lawnmower. And then he started talking to me about it, and he was the coolest guy. He's like, oh, join my group. Everything, it's a great group and whatever. And I joined in. I'm like, dude, this dude is fucking legitimately like teal running through his damn veins. Like it's kind of gross how much he loves the Sharks. But no, I saved one of his pucks from lawnmower demise, and he's been a cool guy ever since. And I wish him the best with all of his health issues and getting him back up, up to speed and getting him to see more games and all the stuff he does. I think it's great for the Sharks community, and he got me hooked. So big props always go out to Steve and his dedication. I don't even know if dedication is the right word. Like obsession. Commitment, obsession. If you could combine the three, it'd be like dedimitment to I don't know, obsession, commitment, whatever. Yeah, no, coolest guy. So Josh, if you're serious about tickets, if you have some, and if you can, hook one of us up or whatever, or if we can buy them for you buy them from you on the low, at a reasonable rate, let me know. My wife and I would love to go to a game one of these days too. She's never been either. So yeah, we'll make it happen for sure. But Greg, was there anything else in the world of sports you wanted to cover before we wrap it up? It's
nope, I'm good.
Hungry. I had breakfast this morning. That's all I've had today.
Oh,
like 15 goldfish, and I just drank my vegetables.
Nice.
So yeah, nothing really going on. There's some fights going on tonight. There were others. Like I said, we'll talk about Kyler Murray in the NFL Combine. That's the draft, which is in next week's show. Hopefully, we'll get to talk more Kings, more Kings stuff, and cool. Josh is in the group, so we'll talk. Hopefully, like I said, hopefully the Kings are there. Baseball's back. Baseball was on TV last night. It was amazing to watch.
I didn't see it.
Bumgarner pitched, then Melanson came in, and in Melanson fashion, 2 pitches in, gave up a bomb to left. It's good to see mid-season form so early.
Right.
Hopefully next week we'll get to report on Farhan signing somebody, and we'll go from there. Josh, make sure you keep an eye out too for when Chad and Nolan come on with their Sharks talk. They're going to start trying to do a bi-weekly show instead of a once a month, so that'll be good for us.
Cool.
And
remember Josh, we're usually Sunday mornings at around 9:00. So in the morning.
Stockton Kings talk. No, I don't talk about Stockton Kings. I will say this though. The Stockton Kings, Sacramento Kings need to take a page out of the Stockton Kings book and bring back those old Kings jerseys. They wore them the other night on Legends.
They had something. They had like little patches all over them or something.
It's because the G League is is whoring out all of their fabric for advertising.
Was it?
So that's just all that is. But yeah, they wore them. The Kings need to bring those back as a permanent fixture to the jersey rotation. I think get rid of the baby blues, or if you're going to work in the city jerseys and all those other ones, have a true throwback and bring back those early 2000 Kings jerseys, because those things are straight fire. But yeah, next week we should be on a regular time, 9 a.m. ish Sunday morning, unless something crazy goes down, which I don't foresee happening. So for Greg Veroza, I am Greg Bowl. This was episode 274. We will see you guys next week.
Night, Larry.